Hi, Joe.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I've never been better. How are you doing?
Good. Um, Joe, well, do you still recall the first riff you could play on your guitar?
First riff is almost definitely a Nirvana song. That kind of got me into rock and roll, and probably "Come As You Are," one of those before I could make bar chords. Just
And what did you like about Nirvana back then?
what was it? It must have just been like the added. I don't know, something about. I just remember hearing rock and roll on the local radio station in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and my brother listened to it years before that, so as a rule, I didn't like it because he did, and then I heard it again. It was like '94, and I was like, I got it. I don't know, it hit me, and it was just the sound of it, everything. And at the same time, I had first picked up a guitar, and it just made sense to me how the chords worked and shapes and stuff, and putting that together with the music, it was blowing my mind. It was awesome.
What did you hear it when he passed? After he passed away?
Yeah, it was after.
After, yeah.
Yeah, there a lot of. I'm always late to the party. It seems with music. I got into Jeff Buckley in like 2001. Like I had never even heard of him before. I was like, oh my god, But yeah, it was after he passed, and so the radio was full of Pearl Jam. I think Vitalogy was the record out at that point. I remember getting that and being like, wow, cool.
And now with the knowledge you now have of playing the guitar, what makes his music so attractive? I mean, the Nirvana, the Kurt Cobain music, the riffing.
That, and I think just like the passion, the voice, and my theory on Nirvana is like you have Kurt Cobain, who's such an opposite rock star, a rock star without trying to be one, which was refreshing after the '80s, I think, and almost as big, if not bigger, Dave Grohl on drums, like made these simple songs that Kurt wrote just like monstrous and huge, If there was another drummer in that band, I don't think, obviously it wouldn't have been the same, and time has told that Dave Grohl is just amazing, but just has big drums, just sounding huge, and just it was incredible. It still is.
So you think that Dave Grohl played a vital part in?
I absolutely. Without him, I mean, you watch some of the live stuff where they're so cool because they didn't use it. There's no tracks, there's no metronomes or anything, which we try to do too, and we do that, and you watch like live at Reading or something, and just and it's just like it's just so huge, and that's.
And what do you think then of the riffs that Kurt Cobain wrote, or the songs? Were they good or?
Yeah, they're awesome. It's his thing, and I mean, it is musical, which a good riff is. They're not like metal riffs, where it's intricate and. But that's not, most of the best songs aren't like that, in my opinion. Big, dumb, and wide open, and universal is, I think, such an art form that's hard. People get caught up in, look at me,
The thing is, well, you mentioned, you said that without the sound of Dave Grohl's drums and him, making the songs into rock anthems, you said you didn't think they could have made it as big as they went.
Maybe not. Who knows? It's speculation.
No, but that's what my question is about the songs. So the songs are good too.
Yeah, they are. It was. I think it had to do with time too, because you listen to his lyrics, and a lot of it is kind of nonsense, but nonsense. It paints a picture. It's like the words he used, and it just paints a picture of like, I don't care, and here this whole like fuck it kind of attitude that we're fresh out of Guns N' Roses in the '80s and shit, where like and girls and we're crazy, I swear to God, and this is just like fuck that shit, blah 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 blah. I mean, he used literal nonsense at times, and it was awesome. It was refreshing and super new, and obviously it changed music, and that's awesome.
Well, you mentioned 1994, and well, you just started playing the guitar. Who bought you your first guitar?
My parents. We just to see if I was into it. They let me rent an acoustic from the local music store, and I took a few lessons, kind of from some folky guy. And it was like ding ding, you know, it was kind of weird. And I think I broke it. I think I dropped it, broke it. That was when I learned that you never trust a strap that isn't locked on. It just whoom, and I was like, sorry. But I remember that Christmas they got me a green Ibanez RG250, RG2, I don't remember the number, but I like the color green, so it was perfect. And finally got my bar chords down so I could play Smells Like Teen Spirit and those other cool Nirvana songs, which are really easy to play, but which is why it was so attractive to me.
And do you still have the guitar?
No, I traded that in for a Les Paul Studio, just kind of moved up a little with some money. And then I traded that in for a PRS, which I traded in for a Tele years later once I got into Jeff Buckley, which I traded in for an old, you know, just constant.
And do you still have one guitar then?
Oh no, I've got way too many guitars. I love guitars. I love music gear. It's kind of my, I have what they call GAS. It's guitar acquisition syndrome or gear acquisition syndrome. And yeah, I just love guitars.
But is it a syndrome or is it just fun?
It's a little bit of both, probably.
Okay. Well, you mentioned that you got your first guitar, your proper guitar and proper riffing after Christmas, 1994. What was the next step for you in hindsight, guitar playing wise?
What was the next thing? Really, you know, I kind of stuck with the rock and roll thing through high school, and I started my first band, and you know, we'd play some gigs here and there, and I wanted to be in a band. You know, I knew what.
Why?
Because I don't know, something about playing on stage or something there. It's this high. You know, it's like if it was a drug, it'd be illegal probably. You know, just something about being in the moment. You know, and like people are watching you, so don't. You know, you're just there, and nothing else matters but, you know, putting out this energy, and it was just what I knew I wanted to do. I think I was lucky in that, you know, once I got a guitar and into rock music, I was like, all right, I really want to play guitar for the rest of my life, but that probably won't happen. So I got like into music industry, and I was booking shows and trying to manage some friends, which I wasn't really doing anything for them. And, you know, putting together the press kits and trying to get interviews with my bands, and I went to college and did the same thing there with a band, and then I moved back to Philadelphia and met Lzzy, and she had the same mindset. We found out later in an interview over here, actually we both played our first show ever in like the same month of 1997, probably pretty close to each other in the region. We didn't know each other yet, but yeah, and we were kind of the same person in that aspect, you know, we just wanted to play music and do it, and do whatever we had to do to play more shows and book more shows.
And how long did it take for you to get into Halestorm once you met Lzzy?
Well, I auditioned. They were looking for a guitar player. I quit college. I had 2 semesters left and moved to Philly because I had more musician friends there, and they had an ad in the back of the local music magazine, you know, and they didn't even say who it was. I wouldn't have known who she was, who they were anyway, but it just said something about like we know people, so maybe we can play bigger venues or something. And I was like, oh, they know, that's cool. Maybe that's a good thing. And I remember going to the audition and hearing her sing, you know. I was like, wow, she sings awesome, you know. And then they asked me to come back, and I've been doing that ever since.
It's now more than 10 years.
Yeah, almost 12.
Yeah, almost 12. What makes the chemistry for you still good with Lzzy and with
everybody?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, we're just so lucky because we all get along so well, and we have fun. You know, maybe it comes from just playing so many shows. You know, once Josh got in the band in '04, we were playing so many. Like, we didn't get a day job, so Lzzy and I would play acoustic during the week at every bar. We'd do 11, 15 shows in a row, you know, just playing acoustic here. Then the weekends play full band over here, and we'd rehearse every day, you know, that we could. just practicing, and we just wanted to be the best that was out there, you know, and or the best that we could be anyway. And
No, but sometimes, like you were saying, playing live that much, you know, bands do break up over tensed live world tours. So how come it doesn't happen to you then?
I don't know. It must just be luck. We have fun. We have a lot of fun together, and we surround ourselves with good crew people, and kind of really don't. If somebody doesn't get, you know, is on a different wavelength than all of us, then we don't. It's not worth working with them.
Okay.
Bad people is like a cancer in a group. You know, it starts spreading. Everyone gets angry and cranky. So we have a great crew. We have fun together. We hang out together, and that's.
So once you sense that someone from a crew isn't behaving properly, then maybe you say to him, well, you can choose now or behave properly, or else you just.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, it's people. Everyone's different, and some folks just aren't prepared for. You know, thought they were prepared and they weren't for a job, and it's like, well, we need to get somebody that can actually do this, or you know, or they are just aren't in the same headspace as we are. You know, we're really relaxed and everyone's really nice, and you know, we try to be very courteous. And if some people aren't like that, you know, whatever. They'll have better luck with another group that is more like-minded.
Do you have a mutual goal with the four of you, music-wise, or what you want to achieve?
Yeah, I'd say so. Really, at the end of the day, it's at the live show especially. It's just we want to be as good as we can possibly be, and we're starting to experiment now, with just like improv in a show. You know, and it's been so much fun because you know we're changing the set list every day now, which is fun. You know, in the afternoon we'll be like, what are we going to play today? I don't know. You know, and that keeps you on our toes. So we have to watch set list, what's next, and then like at the end of Mr. Misery now we've been doing this thing where we just kind of go off and try. We all try to surprise each other, and the goal being the end goal, like you said, is really to make moments, especially live moments, and that's the fun thing about a live show. I think is. You know, it's kind of a tension and release thing, you know, just create these moments where we feel it, you know, and it's like, God, that feels good. And if we're feeling it, I know the crowd's feeling it. And that I think is what is hopefully going to kind of set us apart, not set us apart, but keep people coming back, you know.
And can you create those moments every night, or?
We try to, yeah. The more we do it, the better we get. Especially with the improv section, we have a few of them throughout the show, and it's just you know, and as long as we have the same goal, kind of get there in different ways every time, which is fun. It's awesome.
And what was the last time you really had a special moment?
Last night show.
What happened?
We had a great ending last night for Misery. It's just like it's you know, I first learned about moments in music, like when music is really good, it can like sound, it's amazing. Sounds can make you physically move. You know, you clench up or you like, wow, you know, you just have to like throw your fist at something, you know. It's just some people react to it different. And like the Jeff Buckley record on Grace, I remember the song Grace track 2, that flange going over while he's holding out that long note near the end, you know, and it's just like oh my God, that's amazing, you know, and to achieve that on recording is so cool. But kind of since then, 15 years ago when I heard that for the first time, I was like, that's what matters in music is finding that thing that just physically moves me or people, and like, you know, on stage and you're playing and you're in front of people, so you're in the moment anyway, and it's just like when it hits, it's just like you're shredding, you know, whether it's just playing one note or whatever it is, you ride that wave, and the crowd, you know, the energy coming from the crowd, it all comes together, and we're trying to do that every night.
And do you have goals success-wise? I mean, chart-wise or sales-wise, or maybe certain venues you still want to play, or?
Yeah, I mean, we want to take it as far as we can. That's
meaning.
As long as people are still coming to shows. Really, if at the end of the day, if everything went away and we couldn't, you know, we'd be at home still playing shows, you know, whether it's a small bar down the street or not. And that's always been our attitude, especially after we got the record deal. And at one point we thought, you know, our A&R guy got fired that signed us, and we're like, oh, I don't see how this is going to work out. We hadn't even made our first record yet, and didn't matter. We'd get champagne and be like, all right, here we go. It's been a ride, but let's just go home and play shows like we used to. We were playing 200 some shows a year just before we had a record deal in Pennsylvania and all the other states, and we can always go back doing that, and still we can do that.
But chart-wise, is it something because you're releasing your new album, your third album? Is it something that you talk about with each other? Well, it would be nice if we do top 20 or...
Yeah, wouldn't it? It'd be great. But, I think people are going to love the new record. I love it. I think we knocked it out of the park.